CQ on 10, CQ10, CQ10 meters. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot calling 10. Yeah, Whiskey 3 Oscar Alpha Bravo Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot returning. Thank you for coming back to my call, and a very good afternoon to you. A very good morning your side, I believe. My name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm in the southeast of England, about 15 miles southeast of the city of London itself. So back to you, Whiskey 3 Oscar Alpha Bravo. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Yeah, Whiskey 3OAB M0 JCF returning. Thanks for the 5 and 9. I'm very, very surprised. To me, you are only a 5 and 3, peaking 5 and 3. I was very surprised that your signal is quite low, but I've got your location. Didn't quite catch the name, unfortunately. The QSB did drop you very slightly. I'll give you the technical information my end, and it would explain why your signal is low to me. I'm using a Kenwood Tango Sierra 590 Sierra. I'm running just 75 watts at the moment, 75 watts, but my antenna is just a 5/8 wave vertical, so it's just quite a simple 5/8 wave vertical for 10 meters. But very surprised that I was getting a DX contact with that antenna. But I can switch to a long wire antenna, but I find it doesn't work as well on 10 meters. Great for the lower bands, but not for the higher bands. Back to you. Nothing on the one wire. I'm losing him. Yeah, Whiskey 3 Oscar Alpha Bravo Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot returning. Apologies, sir. Looks like your signal has disappeared to my noise floor, which is about S1. As I say, your signal was a little bit weak to me, and it looks like I've lost you, but I believe you're just using a dipole antenna, and I'm not too sure on the power, but you know, I've got you in the log as a 5 and 2, 5 and 3 on the peaks, and it looks like I've lost you with the QSB. It's a shame. I would like to have had a rag tube with you on 10 meters, but I'll listen once more, and if I don't hear you, I'll carry on CQing. But really appreciate you taking the effort for me today. Whiskey 3 Oscar Alpha Bravo. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. No. Okay, Whiskey 3, Oscar Alpha Bravo, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox. Real apologies. I could hear the voice patterns there, but I'm just not receiving you today on this particular radio, this antenna. And I tried the long wire antenna and there was absolutely 0 on there, but then I expected that. I really appreciate your effort, and hopefully you'll contact me again in the near future and we can carry on where we've left off. But I do appreciate the effort all the same. Bless you. Very best 73, and take care from near New York City. I believe you was about 150 miles from New York City, so not bad effort when all is said and done. Best wishes, and if I don't speak to you again, have a great Christmas. W3OAB, this is M0JCF signing off. Okay, QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England.
Whiskey Alpha 2, Tango Delta Echo.
Yeah, Whiskey Alpha 2, Tango Delta Echo. A very good afternoon to you. My name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, about 15 miles southeast from the city of London in the county of Kent. And you was a lot louder than your countrymen. So I'll give you a report on the next over. Back to you, Whiskey Alpha 2, Tango Delta Echo. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot from WA2TDE. Well, thank you for coming back to me. The name here is Dennis, Denmark Echo, November, India Sierra. The QTH is about 40 miles south of Niagara Falls, New York, near the city of Buffalo, New York. And you're running about a 5 and 5, nice steady 5 and 5. Not too many strong signals on 10 meters this morning here in this part of North America. But I heard you on. You had a nice signal, and I understand you're using a 5/8 wave ground plane. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about your setup there, Mark. Back to you. M0JCF
Yeah, Whiskey Alpha 2, TDE, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox returning. Well, Dennis, absolute pleasure to speak to you for me this afternoon, for you this morning, near Niagara Falls. I tend to get a lot of signals from that area, from sort of Newfoundland down to about Washington. A hell of a lot of signals come out of that area, and I have trouble pushing westwards. I'm okay down to Florida, but and then the Caribbean, but always have trouble sort of pushing west from sort of your location. It's not impossible, I've done it, but yeah, a lot of signals. But anyway, yeah, this end I'm using the Kenwood Tango Sierra 590 Sierra, so a very common radio, very nice DSP radio from Kenwood, 75 watts, and the antenna is just a 5/8 wave antenna, so it's a vertical antenna, very small ground planes on the bottom. I don't know if they do very much for radiation angle per se, but I think they're there more just to match the feed point to 50 ohms. But yeah, it's a very simple antenna, made by I think Stereo. You know, it was a Citizens band antenna, 11 meter antenna, and all I did was drop the top section very, very slightly. So that's the story this end, Dennis. Back to you, WA2TDE. This is M0JCF.
Okay, Mark, very good. M0JCF, WA2TDE, returning Roger on everything. Well, the 5/8 wave is doing a pretty decent job for you. Conditions aren't the greatest today. I think we got the sunspots up and down.
Frequency in use, please.
I think that's really what counts. You're very good on the TS-590S. I own the TS-590S. I think I still do, but I'm not operating it right now. Eventually, I ended up getting a great TS-890S, and that's what I'm using right now. I'm also using a
Frequencies in use, please.
In England, we've had some very, very heavy snow in this part of North America. But interestingly, a good portion of it has melted away. We've had warmer weather again. Temperatures up around 45. Interestingly, the weatherman was correct this time for a change and pinpointed what time the storm would arrive. And sure enough, it did. And so we were pretty well prepared for it. But it was a very long weekend with lots of snow, and we use snow blower. At least I do. Use a snow blower on the driveway. You have to use it a number of times if you let it go too long. When the snow is too deep, it becomes an extremely difficult task. So that's the truth on this end. As far as propagation goes, here in England, we should be able to do it, but you got to wait for the right conditions. And 10 meters is really hot, so we've got this little bit of a dip in the sunspot numbers, and the solar cells down. Just isn't working so well up here on 10 meters. The 10 meters will be in and out for a while, and then maybe a sunspot pick up even more. It was during the CQ10m CX contest, the propagation was pretty very good. And boy, a lot of fun on these bands when it is, that's for sure. Let me turn it back to you for the time.
Yeah, Whiskey Alpha 2, Tango Delta Echo, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot returning. Wow, Dennis, that was a good long over and a lot to take in. But yeah, it's seeing your 500 watts was peaking me 5 and 7, just a little over maybe 5 and 7, but by far QSB kept dropping you to around a 5 and 3, and we did have someone else come up on the frequency. I don't know if he could hear either myself or you, because he kept on calling CQ, and I did tell him that the frequency was in use. But yeah, you're quite right. I like this TS-590. It's a great radio. I do own other radios. I've got like an IC 7300 that I haven't really used a lot. I've had it a few months, but where my heart lies, Dennis, is the older radios. If you check out my QRZ page, you'll see that I've been building a collection of old hybrids and valve radios for restoration. I actually retired about 3 weeks ago now. I retired 3 weeks ago, and I bought the radios in preparation. So in the very near future, a lot of those radios will go on air, and real 1960s and 70s stuff. I quite regularly use a TS-590S. That one's working very, very nicely. And I'll probably drag that one out in the very near future. But the weather here, Dennis, so long as the QSB hasn't dropped me off your radio, the weather here is raining. It's always raining in the winter in the southeast of England. We have fantastic summers, and then it just turns wet, and it just stays wet for a few months. We don't get a lot of snow in the southeast of England anymore. Not like when I was a boy, the 60s and 70s. We used to get knee-deep snow that would last for, days and days, if not weeks. but we really don't see the snow down here now. I can't honestly say that I've seen snow lasting more than maybe 2 days and being more than 2 inches deep. So yeah, I don't envy you though, up there in the freezing cold. You know, it's, you know, I would imagine that you know, it would be fun the first time to go over there and see it, but then I think it would probably wear thin after a while. I don't like the cold so much these days. We quite often come across to the USA, but we like to go places like Florida, California, Arizona, you know, nice and hot. And well, Florida's never dry, but you know what I mean. Dennis, back to you. WA2TDE M0 JCF. Okay, WA2TDE M0 JCF. Dennis, not sure if you heard me, not sure if you're transmitting anymore, but definitely there's a Whiskey Zero station constantly calling CQ on this frequency. He's obviously not hearing me, telling him that the frequency is in use, and I may have to QSY. So if you can still hear me, Dennis, I'll wish you very best 73, but it looks like the propagation might be going against us at the moment. And it would be always the case that I come on the radio a bit too late in the day, and just as our sun is starting to set. So I hope everything's well with you, Dennis, and I'll look forward to catching up with you in the very near future. WA2TDE M0 JCF. Okay, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot will now QSY down the band. I will QSY down the band due to QR Mexico from a Whiskey Zero station.
We get some very, very heavy snow, and
Oh. Dennis, talking about the snow. Yeah, Dennis, WA2TDE M0 JCF returning. Yeah, Dennis, I really appreciate that. I did miss that last over about the snow, but I did hear you sign off with me, and we'll pick it up again. I've got real big QR Mexico from a US station that obviously isn't hearing me, so I'm going to QSY down the band. I will QSY down the band. Appreciate you coming back to me. Take care, and very best 73, Dennis. WA2TDE, this is M0 JCF going to QSY down the band.
WK2J New York City, WK2J New York City.
You stay in New York City, mate.